Okay, so for today, we'll be discussing part of specialized reports, which is forensic reports. So, a forensic report is the official formal document created by a forensic expert, katulad ng isang chemist, pathologist, or ballistics expert that details the scientific findings related to a legal case. So, by the definition itself, ang isang forensic report, ang gumagawa nito ay isang forensic expert. Hindi ito ginagawa ng mga police na assigned sa istasyon. Again, forensic expert lang. So definitely this will be in the PNP Crime Laboratory. At ang nilalaman nung report na to ay kung ano yung findings doon sa examination na ginawa nila. And of course, related yon doon sa legal case or doon sa crime na nangyari. Forensic science conducts the tests and find the facts. For example, this blood sample is a DNA match. The report is the official vehicle that legally transports those scientific facts from the lab or laboratory into the courtroom where they can be used as evidence. In other words, yung forensic report, yan yung gagamitin ng forensic scientist kapag siya ay nag-testify na sa court. Siyempre, kung siya ang gumawa ng report, siya rin ang magte-testify doon sa court regarding doon sa findings, regarding doon sa result or conclusion or opinion niya doon sa ginawa niyang forensic examination. It provides a permanent record of the entire process, including what evidence was received, what tests were performed, the methodology, kasi madaming test na pwedeng gawin sa isang evidence. For example, kung ballistics yan, baka ginamit nyo yung barel doon sa bullet recovery tank or bullet recovery box, depende kung ano yung meron kayo, di ba? Tapos, kinompare mo siya under the bullet comparison microscope, yung bullet and even yung basyo para doon sa mga markings kung parehas. So yon, methodology. The raw data or the findings and the expert's professional impartial conclusion. If you can remember your law subjects, ang pwede lang magbigay ng opinion sa court ay ang isang expert. Kung ikaw ay regular na witness, you cannot give your opinion regarding the case. But if you are an expert, you can give your opinion. And that opinion is your professional expert opinion. Pwede niyang ibigay yon. So why do we write forensic reports? Purpose is documentation to provide a permanent, unchangeable record of the evidence, handling, testing, and results. Para masiguro na lahat ng mga ginawa natin is well documented. Kasi kahit sino naman, hindi niya matatandaan lahat ng pinaggagawa niya patungkol sa isang ebidensya. Syempre, kung magte-testify ka, it would be not tomorrow, definitely. It would be after a few months and even a year, di ba? Di natin sure kung kailan. Kaya nga ang forensic report is done for documentation. Para maalala mo kung ano yung mga pinaggagawa mo. It establishes the chain of custody and preserves the findings for future review. Yun na nga, para sa future. Kasi nga, matagal ka pa bago magte-testify and there is a chance na makalimutan mo na yung pinaggagawa mo dun sa ebidensya na yun. Kaya nga, you are writing a forensic report for you to be able to review it in the future kapag kinailangan mo nang mag-testify. Second one is communication, to clearly and concisely convey complex scientific findings to non-scientists. Kasi yung forensic report, hindi lang naman yan para sa'yo na forensic scientist, kundi para rin sa iba. Kasi sila yung makikinig, sila yung magbabasa ng mga findings, ng mga nakalagay doon sa forensic report. So, forensic reports are used for communication para maipahatid mo, para maipaalam mo rin sa iba kung ano yung mga bagay na napag-alaman mo. This translates technical data, for example, DNA-based pairs, into legal conclusions. Katulad ng ang source is the accused. Then another purpose is accountability. The report is subject to scrutiny and peer review. The examiner is accountable for all procedures and conclusions. Para kung ano man ang mangyari doon sa ebidensya, meron tayong sisisihin. Merong taong accountable. Merong taong responsible dun sa piece of evidence na yon. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng, o sino bang in charge dito sa ebidensya na to? Tapos walang matuturo. Hindi pwedeng ganon. Kaya nga may forensic reports para may matukoy tayo kung sino ang pinaka-responsable or sino ang in charge sa mga pieces of evidence. This ensures scientific integrity and protects the credibility of the entire criminal justice system. And then last purpose is admissibility. integrity to satisfy the legal rules of evidence, making the scientific findings formally usable in trial. Para sure na magiging admissible, para sure na tatanggapin sa korte yung ebidensyang to, kailangan merong report. Para hindi lang basta-basta yung pagtanggap ng korte doon sa ebidensya na yon. Para sure na hindi tampered. Para sure na dumaan talaga sa tamang proseso, sa tamang chain of custody yung ebidensya na yon. A poorly written report means the evidence cannot be used. Kasi ang dating kapag ganun, para bang hindi dumaan sa tamang proseso yung ebidensya. So, magiging kaduda-duda, magkakaroon ng doubt doon sa evidence. Ang evidence hindi pwedeng magkaroon ng doubt sa kanyang integrity. So, universal structure of a forensic report, key sections common to all forensic reports. Una, kailangan merong case identification or cover page. Merong case title or case number, date of incident, requesting authority. And then, meron ding introduction or authority. Ano yung purpose ng examination? States why the analysis was requested. Items submitted. Kung ano yung mga ebidensyang ibinigay. This is a detailed list of all evidence received. Number 3 is chain of custody. Documents that transfer, receipt, and storage of evidence proving integrity. Kumbaga, pinatutunayan or pinapakita kung sino-sino yung mga taong humawak o kung kani-kanino dumaan yung ebidensya na to. That's chain of custody. 4, procedures or methodology. This details the scientific tests and techniques used. And then, of course, yung findings or results, the raw data and observations from the examination. Take note, ang sabi dito is raw data. Kung ano lang yung resulta nung examination. And then, yung next dito is conclusion or opinion. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na ang expert kasi, pwede siyang magbigay ng opinion patungkol sa examination na ginawa niya. Kasi nga expert siya sa field na yon. The examiner's professional opinion based only on the scientific findings. And then of course, kailangan merong pirma or certification para patunay, para ma-acknowledge niya na yung mga nakasulat sa isang report ay tama. Ina-acknowledge niya na oo, ako nga ang gumawa nito at tama lahat ng nakasulat dito at eto nga ang aking opinion. Signed and dated by the qualified examiner, affirming the truth and accuracy of the report. So here is a sample ballistics report. Kung makikita ninyo, may nakalagay ballistics report number, merong case, time and date received, requesting party or unit, specimen submitted. Sabi nga kanina, di ba? Kailangan merong listahan ng mga bagay na ibinigay para sa examination. And then, purpose of the laboratory examination, findings, conclusion, remarks, time and date completed, and yung mga pirma ng mga tao. Wala lang pirma dito pero you get the point. Merong signature talaga. Then we have professional practice and ethical obligations. Number 1 is objectivity. The findings must be reported regardless of whether they help the prosecution or the defense. The scientific truth is paramount. So, merong objective tsaka subjective, di ba? Pag sinabing objective, this is based on facts. Pag subjective, it may be based on opinions or emotions. So, hindi pwede na subjective ang gagawin nating report. It always has to be objective, based on facts, based on truth. Depende kung kanino papabor yung resulta ng isang examination, kailangan yun yung i-report mo. Kasi nga, again, it has to be objective. Number 2 is clarity and simplicity. Right for the reader. Avoid highly technical jargon without explanation. The report must be understandable. So, parang we get that you're very smart, we get that you're an expert, but you are writing this to someone who is not an expert in the field. Ang magbabasa nito, hindi naman expert. Kaya dapat, ang gagamitin mong language, ang gagamitin mong words, ay yung mga maiintindihan ng iba ng madali para ma-avoid din ang misinterpretation. Number 3 is qualification. Only render an opinion within your area of expertise. A fingerprint expert should not offer an opinion on toxicology. Well, I think this is common sense, diba? So, kung hindi ka naman expert sa isang field, wag mo siyang papakialaman. Wala kang alam doon, di ba? And number 4 is preparation for court. The report is your testimony transcript. You must be able to defend every single sentence, data point, and conclusion under cross-examination. Ang gagawin mong basihan para sa pagpe-prepare mo sa korte ay yung iyong forensic report. So, bawat parte ng report mo, kumbaga kabisado mo, alam mo kung ano yung mga pinagsasabi mo doon. Kasi di ba baka yung pinagsusulat mo, hindi mo naman naintindihan o di walang kwentang report yun. Hindi pwede yon kasi nga yung report, yung forensic report na yon, yun yung gagamitin mong basihan kapag ikaw ay nag-testify na sa court.